So I'm going to do something new for you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and review a stand-up comedy bit by Aziz, and it's his new special on Netflix called Right Now. It's going to be a short video because I know comedy is very subjective and it's hard to objectively, piece together what comedy is, because comedy, just in the essence of it, is very, very subjective, and it's very dependent on who the individual is. So I'll just give you my personal opinion, which I kind of always do, but this is more opinionated than anything that I've done before. So you guys know Aziz. He's been from Parks and Recreation, at least that's what I know him from. I also know him from stand-up, and he's always been quite enjoyable. He usually talks about social media in general and things that are, it's almost very teen-like, social media, texting, dating, things like that. And this particular stand-up, it's kind of, at least to me, it was kind of awkward because he just kind of got back from, I guess you'd say, some accusations. And the accusations were from the Me Too movement. He was accused of sexual misconduct, and that's a good accuse, with the parentheses, because we really don't know if he did anything wrong or right. I can't really see him doing it, just looking at him. He's like a 105-pound dude, pretty small, tiny. I can't see him being super aggressive with women anyways, but that's just my personal take on the whole thing. Why I'm bringing that up is because he kind of does this red pilling sort of deal, where he kind of talks shit about the woke people on Twitter, if you know what I mean. The woke people on Twitter? You know what I'm talking about. The type of people that try to kind of virtue signal about how, they're helping out the minorities or the oppressed people, but they're really not doing anything. They just kind of sit there in their house with their Twitter, and they're like, oh, by the way, you know what I'm talking about? They like sniffing their own farts, is what I'm trying to say. That's kind of the base of his stand-up on this one, is that. And he also has some pretty awkward moments where he kind of brings up people from the audience and kind of pokes fun at them. There's a point in the episode, or the stand-up, where he talks about, he goes, oh, did you see on the news about the Nazi pizza or whatever? What he was trying to say was where somebody put a Nazi swastika sign on a pizza with the pepperonis or whatever, and he goes ahead and he says, do you guys hear that? Do you guys know about that? Raise your hand. And everyone, a lot of people raise their hand. He goes, oh, okay. What? And then he points to a guy in the audience and goes, hey, you, sir, what do you think about the Nazi pizza thing? Did you think it was an actual swastika on it? Or I just thought it was pepperonis. The guy's like, yeah, I thought it was just pepperonis too. He goes, yeah, I know you did, because I just made up the story. So he does this thing where he kind of baits people into a trap, and then kind of ha ha ha, I gotcha. You're just saying things just a virtue signal. That's the whole point of his comedy stand-up bit in this one. He does make some points, and I feel it gets a little preachy later in the show, where he's don't be that type of person, don't go ahead and, just virtue signal to virtue signal, or talk about something and agree to something that you don't know about just because, I guess you say, the population around you agrees with or disagrees with or whatever. be your own person. That's at least what I was thinking. Yeah, he ends up starting to do some preachy stuff where he tells people to close their eyes, and it ends up kind of feeling like church a little bit, where everyone's closing their eyes, so now think about this. And think about that. And it ends up becoming less of a comedy at some points and more of more preaching, I should say. And I didn't quite enjoy that personally. My wife did. She thought he was being very very genuine in his messages he was trying to portray. He ends up talking about how many days you have left to see your mom or dad, because you only see them 3 times a year or something like that. And I was like, dude, I get that you're trying to be genuine, but I'm also here to watch comedy. You know what I mean? I don't need to be lectured about how to live my life. I kind of just want to see, I want to hear you laugh. I want to hear myself laugh. I want to see people laugh. I don't want to have people just kind of sit there and be give me your life story and your message. I don't like that personally. Some people might. That's not my take on it. First half of the bit that he does is pretty good, but then the second half kind of goes off rails and it becomes a little preachy. Then it goes back into comedy again. So I'd say I liked maybe half of this special for me so far. I don't know. It's my personal opinion. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was the best stand-up ever. I thought there was some pretty good bits in there, and then there was a lot of awkward other bits. It's hard to explain. Personally, for me, I would say this is a C. It's a quick review because, stand-up comedy is very subjective, and there's not a lot to talk about. There's not a certain storyline that you have to base your opinions off of, or how the story structures. It's jokes, you know what I mean? They're very individual and clear-cut and things like that, and it's very subjective. So, personally for me, I thought it was a C. But you could, maybe you fucking love it. My wife loved it, so I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like my review, please like, share, and subscribe and do the whole, YouTube business. Click the little bell icon if you like my notification, or like my notifications. If you want notifications from me, please like, or click the little bell. That's what I wanted to say. And until next time, you guys, see ya!